right, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on another episode of the Lockup. With me today, we got owner of New York Championship Wrestling, Jonny Patches. How are you doing today, sir?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
All right, so tell me a little bit about starting New York Championship Wrestling, its history, its beginnings.
I started back in 2018. I got my start in the business by doing color commentary for truly independent wrestling in the Berkshires of Massachusetts, and I met a lot of great guys, a lot of talent that way. And New York really had a missing wrestling scene, so I figured it was a good chance to bring it to Central New York, to the Utica area, and we kind of just steamrolled from there. Our first show was October of 2018, and up until the pandemic hit last year, we had shows every month.
So we're actually pretty close. I'm actually out of Syracuse, New York, so we're actually pretty close.
We're neighbors.
Yeah. So pandemic has hit kind of hard. What are your plans once it starts back up? Or do you have plans to start back up?
We're gonna pick up where we left off.
Great.
Hopefully give everyone some great action, continue to tell some I think fantastic stories, and expand a little bit. We've been looking into other states in the meantime with are more wrestling friendly, seeing as New York has no interest in getting it back anytime soon, it appears.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's awful. We are all chomping at the bit to perform for everybody and to get the shows back out there. And in the meantime, we can only just twiddle our thumbs. But Vermont does definitely seem very promising. I've been in contact with some places in New Jersey. So hopefully, if New York doesn't get their act together in the next couple of months, our first show this year will probably be in a different state. And then once New York finally reestablishes itself, we'll be back to business as usual here.
Well, I kind of got a little bit more hope today. They announced, they're bringing the New York State Fair back. So it's like, okay, maybe there's a little bit of hope. I saw they're increasing some capacities. Like maybe if people get their act together, but
get vaccinated.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, some of your wrestlers, some of your characters, those in the area who might not be familiar with you guys. Who are some of your top stars? Who are some of your up and coming wrestlers?
Right now, our heavyweight champion is the dark horse Johnny Moran out of Pennsylvania. Excellent talent. He works throughout New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. He won it last year in December, defeating High Voltage Omar. He cashed in his brass ring that he won earlier that night in a ladder match, and took it off our first ever champion. And he's been the champion ever since then. Love him or hate him, you definitely have to respect him. He's definitely an up-and-coming talent that you will definitely see a lot of in the near future. High Voltage Omar, who was our initial champion, another fantastic talent. He's from Puerto Rico. He's wrestled in Puerto Rico along the East Coast. He ended up having surgery on his knee, so he had to take some time off, but now he's getting back into things. He wrestled in Connecticut over the weekend in one of his first matches back this year, so we hope to see him back in a New York Championship Wrestling ring in the very near future.
Great. I guess if you're going to get injured, during the pandemic, it's the time to do it.
Exactly. If it had to happen, at least during downtime.
Right.
We have the Stepdads, fantastic tag team out in New Jersey. Radley Belmont and Wade Kruger. If you haven't had a chance to see them work, not only will they make you smile and laugh, also incredible in the ring. So don't take their jokes and their comedy as all that they have. There's so much more to that tag team, and when people see them, they understand how great they are. Born to Wrestle, another tag team who are current champions. They've been wrestling throughout the Northeast. They just collect belts, kind of like Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I think they've were holding 4 or 5 tag team championships for different promotions all at the same time, including ours. And there's so many great talents. from Truly Independent Wrestling, their initial group of rookies that they had. A lot of them still work for me, and it's been great watching them evolve. Danny Adam, who's been working all around the Northeast, Guy Sedlowski, and there are so many. It's a fun time. Like I tell people, New York Championship Wrestling, if you don't like wrestling or you used to be a fan, come back, give it a chance. I guarantee you're going to have a good time. If you don't, that's your problem. There's something wrong with you. And I started a new job recently, my day job, obviously, and I offered some of the guys that work there tickets, and one of them said that his son, he went begrudgingly. He's like, "This is lame." He's like, "I don't want to go. Why can't we go watch UFC or MMA or something like that?" And he complained for a while, and then he sat down, and within 2 minutes he was hooked. He couldn't take his eyes off the ring. He was watching. He ended up having a great time. It's gonna be fun as long as you invest yourself in the characters and what's going on. It's definitely worth your money.
Well, I'll tell you, definitely one or the other, I'll be there back at your first show once it comes back in the area.
It'll be great, and we will definitely give you some exclusive interviews for your podcast and for your show later on too.
Awesome, sounds great. So how's it like? I know you said you start out, doing commentary, moving into booking. How is it trying to deal with, a lot of the backstage egos, or have you had none of that?
There's always going to be something. Fortunately, knocking on wood now, there hasn't been much of that around here. Everybody is out to put on a great show for the fans. And a lot of egos are checked at the door, and those that do have a chip on their shoulder, there's a lot of people that are willing to take their place. We have a great locker room environment. Everyone works together. It's not as bad as some places that I've heard about and some things that I've seen.
Right.
Again, there have been little issues here and there, but they're adults and they're professionals. They handle it that way.
I know we seem to have a lot more, as fans, we have a lot more access backstage, with stories and, podcasts. We hear how things are going, and it seems so much different than how it used to be, back in the day when we were growing up.
Oh, it's definitely evolved. It's not, your former jocks and meatheads that couldn't make it in the real world or make it in the NFL, or just bad attitudes and just a toxic environment. It's like I tell people, it's kind of shocking how liberal the wrestling community is, especially the independent wrestling community, and it's fantastic. Everyone is looking out for the betterment of not only themselves, but for the world and the people around them.
Right. See, we got, stars like Nyla Rhodes or Sonny Kiss. You see it now widely accepted and cheered. Back in the day, late 90s, you would think it never would have happened.
Oh, no, never. And I grew up in that era, and seeing people like Nyla or Sonny or our women's champion, PJ the Whip Gonzalez, you would never expect to see people of the LGBTQ community so widely accepted and appreciated and cheered for. They would be ridiculed. Like, if you think about how unfortunate it was for Chris Kanyon hiding who he was for so many years until it was too late. He was an amazing worker, and it's disgusting to think that his sexual orientation would have hindered him or would have made him a joke on TV once people found out. I'm sure for someone like him looking down now, it's come such a long way, and he's one of those pioneers that definitely would have made a difference for it all.
Definitely. Anybody that follows your page or anything can see that New York Championship Wrestling is very LGBTQ friendly. How's it been like, promoting that? Have you had any backlash? Or has it all been positive?
I take a lot of advice from CJ Scott from TIW, the owner there. And like he said, with his mentality and even mine, if us supporting LGBTQ community is something that you have a problem with, I don't want your money. I don't want you at my show anyhow. I know Someone from a local community had come to the show with their son, and during one of these spots between, I believe it was The Process and Killer Instinct, they ended up having a kiss spot, trying to throw the other one off. And the man and his son said, "Hey, thank you for putting on the show, but this isn't for us." And then they ended up leaving. It's unfortunate. It's their loss because of their closed-mindedness to the situation.
Right.
Come in, have fun. If that bothers you, I'm sorry, but this is the world that we live in. There's nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely. So yeah, but definitely when you get back to running shows, we'll definitely have you on again. I will do a follow-up show.
I'd love to.
We'd love to have you come on and promote it. So, we'll definitely be bigger. We're growing every day, and New York Championship Wrestling, we want to help you guys grow as well.
And that's what the industry needs. We all need to work together, because it can only grow. We can only get new people, and when they get involved, they'll see what a great entertainment venue this is.
And I certainly think we're about to hit another, a golden age of wrestling, where you see Impact is getting deals. MLW just got a TV deal. So I think between all these companies now, and big stars realize they don't need to be in WWE to make the big bucks or to be seen on TV. I think we're going to see a lot of smaller companies putting on bigger shows, and I think the indies are about to blow up again.
Yep, and there's so much content up there between IWTV and Pluto TV. They even have an independent wrestling station. Just going on YouTube and Googling independent wrestling, if you don't like what you see with one company, there's going to be 350 more that is going to give you something that you want. There's going to be something out there for everybody.
And we're always promoting IWTV. So like we've always said, if you don't have it, it's worth the $10 a month to get it.
Oh, definitely. And even Pluto, I stumbled onto that, and they're showing independent shows on there and old TNA and Impact. Wrestling is out there. It's such a fantastic sport. It's what I've grown up on. It's what we've all grown up on.
Absolutely. Definitely.
And just don't forget about how much you loved it in the beginning, and make sure that love is still there. You may not like what goes on with one company, but there's a bunch more out there.
Definitely is. So before we let you go, I like to end every episode with a little rapid fire game.
Okay, I'm down.
So it will be 6 questions, some wrestling, some not wrestling.
Okay.
So first question, as a New Yorker, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Not for me personally, but I will not make fun of someone who likes it.
What's a match, given no money, you can book anybody you want, what's a match you would love to book for New York Championship Wrestling?
If I could book anybody I would want. Well, I know we've all seen it 1,000 times, but I would love to see it again here in the States of New York. Marty Scurll and Will Ospreay.
That'd be a great match.
2 of my all-time favorites.
What's one city you would love to work in that you haven't gotten to work in yet, as far as booking the show?
New York City. That has to be the mecca that anyone in the Northeast is looking for.
I can imagine, booking Madison Square Garden would probably be a dream.
Oh yeah, like after that, I could go to sleep and die that night, and I'd be fine, because anything after that's just going to be downhill.
Where would be your dream vacation spot?
Anywhere that isn't within 50 miles of here. I don't think I've gone on a vacation in 8 years. So anywhere would be great. Especially
during our harsh winters.
Yes. Every winter I think about, man, maybe I should just move, go down south, go somewhere where there isn't snow, just be done with it for the rest of my life. Although the past 2 winters haven't been too bad, so I can't really complain. Right. We've gotten it for like 3 to 4 months, and the rest is fine. So those 3 or 4 months that I forget about. I know, like growing up, it was like late October to middle of May. You can count on snow the entire time. Oh, and then, June, on Mother's Day or May, whatever it felt like. So who is the best heel character of all time? The best heel, Roddy Piper. Hands down.
Oh yeah. And then final question: what is the worst gimmick match of all time?
Anything from Impact during the Dixie Carter era.
All right. Well, again, Johnny, thank you for joining us.
No
we look forward
problem.
to having you on again. Thanks for
All
stopping
right.
by.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.